What's up, guys? We got a banger here today. Let's get into it.
Can people please explain to me where men get the audacity? I went on a date with a man from Paris. He lives in London about 4 weeks ago. I would normally avoid Parisian men at all costs, but whatever. Anyway, we go to a French restaurant. We get some dinner, we have a few drinks, and then the date ends. I go home, he goes home. Fine. And then I text him the next day and I'm like, hey, thanks for dinner last night. I had a nice time. And he responds, hey, Emma, I had a lovely time too. You have great personality. You're very attractive. You seem to be in great shape. The only thing is I can't stand your accent. Okay. So I don't respond. I delete his number. I delete the conversation. Fine. He's just texted me to be like, hey, Emma, I can't stop thinking about our date. I think the accent is something I could get past if you wanted to meet again. What the? I have no words.
Well, at least he was honest. I mean, brutal maybe, but honest. I mean, the man said your accent annoyed him. Then he realized he made a mistake and tried to fix it. And instead of appreciating the candor, you went full scorched earth mode. And here's the deal. Dating involves rejection and men face it consistently. And he got over himself, but apparently you didn't. Men are conditioned to suppress their preferences to avoid backlash, but here's a guy who owned up. And maybe instead of playing the victim, reflect on why his comments cut so deep. Also, the entitlement, thanking him for dinner was polite, but expecting him to grovel over one flaw. Come on. Relationships thrive on communication and not theatrics. Women complain men are emotionally unavailable, but when one opens up, he's out of line. Make it make sense.
So the men are starting a 4G movement as a counter or retaliation for women and the 4B movement. And so what is 4G? 4G is no sex, no dating, no babies. They are restricting their seed to the women. Okay. I support your movement. I support that. I think you all should do that. I think all men should participate in the 4G movement. Yeah. Ladies, what do you think about their movement as a counter to women demanding agency and autonomy and being treated with dignity and respect instead of a whole and a body part to bear children? What are your thoughts? I think we should help the men with their 4G movement in abstaining from any type of intimate relationship or dating. I think it is a great idea.
Yeah, the 4G movement is basically the 4B movement, but for men, and it's a logical response to the chaos feminism and modern dating have created. But she's looking at it like it's this absurd thing. Well, you guys started this shit to begin with. We're just mirroring what you've done. Her sarcasm about men wanting dignity just reeks of projection. For decades, women demanded autonomy while still benefiting from men's resources. Now men are opting out entirely, and is this a crisis? No. Here's why the 4G is gaining traction. Family courts disproportionately favor women. Men lose custody, pay alimony, and get treated like ATMs. And add that to the Me Too culture where false accusations can destroy a man's life, and you see why they're saying no thanks. Ladies, you mock the men who disengage, and now they're leaving the table entirely, and you're stuck with vibrators and cats. Respect is earned and not demanded. Men are simply taking back control of their lives, and no, we don't need your help with our movement. Just stay out.
Dating scene has been bad because I have never circled the block like I have been doing lately. And I need someone to hold me accountable for this. I have always prided myself on never going back to an ex. And I haven't. No, I haven't. But the last few weeks, honey, I've been circling the block like it's my job. I need redemption. I need to be saved because there's a reason it didn't work out. There's a reason I'm not with them. There's a reason I broke up with them. They broke up with me, etc. I do not need to be back there. But your girl's desperate. Dating in Atlanta is, it's been the shit. But not like in a good way. She needs a daddy. And if you guys say, oh my god, how are you single? Like, it's because most men suck. Like, it's not that I can't find any type of man. Like, I could find a man. But most of them suck. And at this point in my life, I only want them around if they're nice and good.
Circling the block, it sounds more like you're justifying desperation. I mean, dating in Atlanta sucks because modern women have unrealistic standards. You want nice and good men, but ignore them while chasing toxic ones who won't commit. Then you blame all men for poor choices you keep making. You make it make sense. The truth is, men are opting out because we're tired of being treated as disposable. Women like you love to cherry pick bad experiences and ignore the good guys who don't fit the 6-figure to 6-foot and a 6-pack fantasy. Accountability is key. Stop blaming men suck and reflect on your standards and priorities. You can't keep circling the same dumpster fire relationships and expect gold. And maybe the issue isn't Atlanta or men. Maybe it's your approach to dating. Fix the mindset and maybe you'll stop circling entirely. And better yet, why don't you take some time to clean your place? You saw that mess, right? That'll give you an idea what kind of chaos she brings.
About the weird experience of being in your 30s, child-free, and also single. No, don't get me wrong, like there's so many things I love about it. I love being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want to do it. I love that I can form friendships in a lot of different pockets, do a lot of different hobbies, yada yada. There's so many pros out there to my lifestyle. I'm not complaining about that. I just want to touch on this weird factor of it. Relationships are changing now. Like on one hand, I have a lot of friends who are in like their late 20s, maybe kind of just on that cusp, and they're still doing their life. They're still, progressing in different ways. And then I have a lot of friends who are in their mid 30s or married or have kids. And this is where it gets kind of tricky. I love these friends so much. I want to spend time with them. I want to see them. But it feels like every single time I try to initiate something with them, it's like, oh, well, we got the kids or we got so-and-so's birthday with other couples. You don't want to do that. Just a bunch of married couples or a bunch of like other families. It would just be weird if you were there. It would just be weird. And that's missing the point that like, I want to still have friendships with these people because they matter to me. Like they're wonderful people. It'd be super fun. But I feel this weird burden to kind of go out of my way to try and spend time with them when they're not really reciprocating that. And I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been like, hey, I will drive to your house just so that we can load up your car and run errands with you and your kids. And I can just spend, 30 minutes to an hour just talking with you, spending time with you. It doesn't have to be the most genuine, like, we're going out and spending $30 here, doing like a designated event together. I just want to spend time with you. It can be a very low maintenance thing, but I just feel like all the responses I get are, oh, sure, or that'd be just so weird. But I do love you and I do miss you. And so that's just like this weird, hard place that I am in now that I'm in my 30s. And I'm, especially since I'm single too, there's just this added element of, I'm kind of a free floater agent. I kind of just do what I want here and I like hang out. And a lot of my friends who are married and have kids or just married are just very set within their dynamics. And it's kind of a shame. And that's one of the cons of being at this stage in your life. Still wouldn't change all the great blessings of being single, and not having kids right now. It's just a weird time.
It sounds like coke, bad choices, and the wall. That's what best sums this up. But she's got this child-free, single in your 30s sob story. You love the freedom, but hate the loneliness. It's like pick a lane. Complaining about married friends being unavailable sounds more like envy than a genuine problem. They have obligations you don't, and expecting them to drop everything because you're bored isn't fair. The free agent lifestyle you celebrate is also isolating because it's not designed for long-term fulfillment. You've traded deep connections for shallow independence, and society told you marriage and kids were trapped. And now you're realizing they're built on the foundation of meaningful relationships. And instead of blaming friends with families, try building your own community. I guarantee most of your single peers are probably also navigating the chaos of modern dating as well. I give her a couple more years when she doesn't find anybody and the biological clock is just about dead. She's going to be really screaming, we're all the men and I want a baby.
Every man is so freaking competitive, okay? Men compete over sports, over strength, over money, over their career path, everything. They compete over women. They compete over everything. It is in their nature. When you know this, remember, if you want to be his dream girl and the woman he's pursuing and chasing, to not compete with him. And this is why they like feminine women, because feminine women are soft and they trigger his instinct to protect her, to chase her and pursue her. I will give examples later in another TikTok video tonight about this, so keep an eye out. But let me explain this psychology to you. The more you're independent and girl bossing, and I don't care about your career or money, That's fine. You can still have your own money. I'm making my own money, even though my man always said, I'm going to retire. You like, don't care. And I was like, no, I still want my career in my own life. Anyway, so it does not matter. It's the energy. It's not which car you drive, how much money you make, if you make more money than him, all that stuff. It's the energy. And what I mean by this is, when you're having a conversation with him, when you're sitting over dinner, when you're together in the household and something comes up, and you're criticizing him, you're complaining about what he's doing, you're complaining over his actions, or you interrupt when he's speaking and sort of say, no, actually I know this better, actually blah blah blah. Like, if you trigger his instinct to compete with you because you want to be right, you always want to be the one in charge of the household, everything he's doing, you always want to do it better, what you're triggering is the masculine instinct to compete. And it's the dumbest thing as a woman you could do, because then he doesn't see you as the feminine dream girl that he wants to protect. Even though this sounds toxic, it's the truth. It's psychology, okay? And I wish more women knew this, because nobody talks about it, because everyone's like, women are so independent. Yeah, that's good, but if you want to be satisfied in your relationship, marriage, long-term commitments, whatever it is, even in your dating, be smart, play dumb. Don't dumb it down, become an airhead. That's not what I mean. But let him shine. Let him have his hero moment, okay? Because when he has his hero moment, he will feel smart, because he's a problem solver. When he feels like the man, he doesn't feel emasculated by you. He doesn't feel like he's competing with you. He will actually look at you like, oh my God, I'm competing in every area of my life. Work, gym, whatever it is. The moment I come home to my feminine wife, I feel like I want to protect her. I can be the man again. I can just be. And that will trigger his persuasion. Like, he wants to chase you. He wants to earn your praise, because every time he's doing something, you are praising him instead of telling him off. So also, another good tip, this is how you get him to do more things for you in the household, not by telling him off, but by every time praising it, stroking his ego, make him feel good, reward him when he does something, even though it's probably not as probably done as you wanted it to do in the first place. Because let's be honest, men are pretty shit at cooking and folding laundry. But be smart, play dumb. Have the upper hand in the long term by stroking his ego, making him feel like the man, letting him have his hero moment, because if he feels that he's in control, he will want to do more things for you. So, be smart, play dumb.
I was pretty much like, finally somebody who gets it, and I'll give her the benefit of the doubt here, as this might be the best way for her to understand it and explain it. But she was on point until she said play dumb, stroke his ego, and let him shine. Basically, what I'm getting there is you're advocating manipulation. I mean, this isn't about femininity, it's about emphasizing men under the guise of psychology. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual respect and not pandering to one partner's insecurities. And ladies, the problem isn't your independence, it's the attitude. Men don't mind successful women. They mind arrogance and constant competition. If your feminine energy is just a tool to control him, then don't be surprised when he walks away. Modern men are not dumb. They're just tired. Tired of being criticized, tired of being nagged to death, and tired of fighting for dominance in their own homes. If you want a partnership, treat them like one. Otherwise, you're setting up both of you for failure. Respect beats manipulation every time. Play dumb. How about just play fair? Well, guys, the modern dating landscape is broken. This episode shows us why. Women entitlement, lack of accountability, and societal conditioning have driven a wedge between men and women. Family courts, feminism, overreach, and social media have turned relationships into battlegrounds. Men are retreating, whether through movements like 4G, Passport Bros, or just opting out. The solution is respect and communication. Women must recognize the independence isn't synonymous with arrogance, and men need to enforce boundaries and prioritize their well-being. Relationships thrive when both parties contribute equally and not when one manipulates the other. Ultimately, men are going their own way because society no longer values them. And if we want to fix this, we need to reform laws, foster healthy gender dynamics, stop demonizing men for wanting basic respect. And until then, guys, focus on self-improvement, financial independence, and finding happiness on your terms. Well, guys, that's the end of the video here today. If you like what you've seen, hit that like button, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Drop me a comment down below on what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.